Hey guys, Chris Cooper here, and today I'm going to tell you how to get real estate for free using a strategy that we call self-funding real estate. But first, don't forget to hit like on this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notifications bell so that we can tell you when more videos are coming. These videos are for people who are in the tinker phase of entrepreneurship. They've already got a gym that's doing fairly well, and they're wondering what to do next. So I'm talking about this because in one of our previous videos, I shared that you want to build a platform that gets you a long time return if you want to get from owning a gym to being a millionaire. And one of the ways that you can do that is real estate. This is actually my favorite way. But the thing that stops most people from buying real estate is it's so expensive, especially where they live. They're like, I need $1 million just to get into a building. So before we get going into the math here, what I want to share is this. The first building that you buy doesn't have to be your gym. The building that your gym is in is probably big. It's probably a good warehouse. You know, the owner probably bought it to be a cash flow investment forever, so they're not really eager to sell it. Instead, you can start by buying something small. Maybe that's a small rental house, even an Airbnb. And my first business or my first building was actually for my gym. And there are pros and cons to that. It's nice to pay yourself as the landlord. On the other hand, it builds in a layer of fragility because now you've got this mortgage payment. And if anything goes wrong with the business or the building, both will suffer. So my second building that I bought was actually this office building that I'm in right here. I've got a couple of other ones, like a rental beach property. It's nice. And the one that I just bought was a self-storage building. I'm going to tell you how I got that property for free. And I'm going to explain this concept to you in just one moment. So when I was looking at this building, the cost for the building was $750,000. And, for our area, that was still a pretty good deal, but you can do this math with any price point, basically. I could put 10% down. I actually wound up putting a little bit more down but for the point here, because for most of you, 10% down will actually do it. I put 10% down. I took a 10-year loan on it. So it's not a mortgage. It's just a building loan. And loan rates are so low right now that I got about 3.2%. Now that's because I borrowed commercially. If I had borrowed personally, it'd be below 2%. But again, for the sake of illustration here, my monthly mortgage payment is this $74.93. Okay. Now that sounds like a lot. However, when you put something on the property that generates cash flow or in the building, like a self-storage unit, here's what you wind up with. If I've got 20 units in there that are generating $250 a month each, that's $5,000 in revenue. If I've got a couple of tenants and there's a small apartment, there's like a hairdresser and like a nurse clinic, that adds up to $2,400 a month, which is almost enough to cover the mortgage. So I'm earning $7,400 a month. I'm paying $74.93. Now I don't want to pay for this. I want it to be free. And that's what I promised you. So here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to raise our rates just a little bit. We're going to raise them to $260 a month. Okay. And what that's going to do is get us another, $200 a month, putting me at $7,600 a month. And now what's happening is that the little business that I've got on the property is actually paying for the property. It's cash flowing the purchase price of the property. We call this a self-funding real estate model. Now it sounds like, you could only do this with a storage business, but you could do this with any business that you can more or less automate. And the more automatic the business is, the better. So for example, an Airbnb is a great way to build your net worth because while the tenants, the Airbnb clients are paying the mortgage, you own it and it's appreciating in value all the time. Another great example of this model is McDonald's. And if you've ever seen the McDonald's movie, I forget what it was called, you'll have seen that they are actually the biggest real estate company in the world because what McDonald's does is self-funding real estate. They buy the property, they put a franchise on it, a franchisee pays them to have that, and then they operate the store and it's all automatic, right? It's all like process driven. This is what self-funding real estate's all about. And it's just an amazing way to build your net worth. There will be other simple future models for this in the future. But the thing you got to remember about property is it can cash flow itself. It can even cash flow itself and pay you. And when the bill is gone, right, when this $74.93 per month here disappears, I'll still own the building and it'll still be paying me the 7,600 a month in revenue, which is way more than most people would earn in retirement. So a self-funding model is great. Within 10 years, I will have a cash flow asset that's paying me $7,600 a month for no work. That's a great way to retire. It means you can retire a lot sooner than your parents probably did. It means that you can retire for virtually free if you've got like a down payment. And so it's a lot closer than you might think. And this is a way that you could do it at minimal risk to yourself too, instead of thinking about the usual method, which is I should buy the building that houses my gym.